2 more checks to go. Here's a seamless transition to the next check. If you tell your marketing department it tends to overheat, they're going to call your product the hottest product on the market. If you tell them it has carcinogens, Dogwort will say it makes you appreciate life. Now, this is kind of funny, but it also tends to happen. Where? Well, Al, have you ever heard of a company called Lululemon?
I can say I never have.
I would not have expected you to. It's a company that makes yoga clothes for women. If you go to the gym a lot, go to yoga classes, you may see their tags. Oh, there we go. You also may see these red posters all around the place. But they have a special type of fiber called Vita-C, and it's made with what they say is yarn derived from seaweed. And because of that, they're charging $78 for this shirt. Al, would you pay $78 for this shirt?
Absolutely not.
Okay, exactly. You don't have the perception of quality. But for someone who's saying, you know, I want natural fibers, I want things that are sustainable, I want things that are recyclable, right? They would pay that. And that's what Lululemon is doing. And they've got a lot of, if you look at this poster, I'm not bashing the company. They do a lot of good stuff. Just like a Live Strong bracelet. This poster has a lot of good motivational sayings. The reason they can charge $78 is that perception of quality. Again, the Starbucks model of those 4 types of companies. But what happens? What happens is when someone actually looks to see how much seaweed is in their clothing. Wah, wah. Okay? A Consumer Report company did a test and didn't find any trace of seaweed in their clothing, right? Just like that, the perception of quality is lost. 1 report.
An engineer can't save the marketing department from that one.
Well, yeah, not in this case. That was a decision higher than the engineer. But we're going to talk about what you can do, right? Let's look at this from another angle. Here's a great poster. Don't throw anything away. There is no away. Very good environmental message, right? Then you have the smokestack kind of putting out flowers, and things get a little weird. And you're like, wait a minute, who puts out this message? If you look way down the corner, I'll do it again, Shell. Shell is obviously an oil company. They obviously, you know, make oil so people can burn them in their cars and do other things with them, which is very good. We all need oil. But does that match with this message? Okay? The fine print of the ad talks about how Shell uses its CO2 output from its factories to grow more plants, like it captures it and bottles it and grows more plants. It talks about how it takes the sulfur from its factories and uses it to make concrete because sulfur makes super strong concrete, right? So there's nothing that can go wrong here, right? This is a nice message. No one's actually going to check up on Shell's claims, right? Wah, wah. So if someone actually starts checking up on this, all these claims are bogus. Worse than that, it actually led to a lawsuit. And this lawsuit Shell lost. They had to pull this ad from the airwaves, or from the posters. And they called this greenwashing. That's the phrase that a lot of people are talking about. It's like whitewashing, but with environmental concerns. Companies are trying to put a cloak of environmental caring about them to raise their price to have better PR, right? And the number that got me, if you read about this Shell problem, the number that got me is this, 0.325%. When they actually looked at Shell's claims, the amount of carbon dioxide from its factories it was recapturing worldwide was 0.325% of what it made, right? So that's why they lost the lawsuit. If this was 30%, they could have gone, oh, look, we're trying. If it was 50%, it's a valid ad. If it's 100%, it's a valid ad. 0.325%, the judge said, get that ad out of here. You're lying to consumers, right? But it's the number that mattered, not the fact that they put the ad out. So what can you, as engineers, do about this? Oh, this is one thing I want to show real quick. There are people, and the only reason I knew about Lululemon is I read it on Jessica's website here. Look at her job description, sustainable style blogger, right? That's her whole job, is to go out and find these things where Lululemon, Shell make mistakes. There's also old websites about this, greenwashing websites. and they have categories based on different products. Now, I looked in consumer goods for this webinar. There wasn't really anything that we could, any of our known customers in there, but people are out there looking. All it takes is one thing like this, and you lose your green persona, your company's green persona. So what can we do about this? There's a check in SOLIDWORKS called sustainability. They put it in there in 2010. They've made it a lot better in the last couple of years. The idea is you take your part or assembly, you tell it where it's made, and it figures out how far it's traveling to get to where it's used, right? That figures into its carbon footprint. You set all the materials for the part. That also figures into the carbon footprint. And it gives you a sense of how sustainable is this product, right? So you don't get surprised by this. Maybe you should know about this, but you shouldn't get surprised by these greenwashing claims. So I did that for this flashlight again, and you can actually visualize this. Sorry, let me drink some water here. You can actually visualize this. So Al, can you see the numbers on this graph here, this sustainability graph?
Yes, I can. Ranges from 570.24
All right.
to 0.
Exactly. And so look at the contribution. The biggest contribution by far of the carbon footprint is this lens. So as an engineer, let me switch back to SOLIDWORKS. Here's how you'd use it. Here's that same little carbon footprint, energy footprint, water footprint. I've got a lens. Right now it's made out of pure silver. Maybe I chose that for thermal conduction. Maybe I chose it for reflective properties. Obviously pure silver is a bad choice, but let's just say we did that. Okay, here's pure silver. I want to say, what's another material I can make this out of that is just as good, but has a lot better carbon footprint? Okay? Find me something just about as strong, but costs a lot less. Go. Look at all these materials. A lot of aluminums, right? All those aluminums probably have lower carbon footprint. Let's see if we can find anything that has about the same thermal conductivity. No, nothing. Nothing is as thermally conductive as silver, which is why we chose it. But if we take away that as a choice, let's say we can go less than that. Okay, there's again all those aluminums. If I just click on one of them, all right, let's see what happens to these graphs down here. Okay, wow. I didn't even expect this. I thought it was going to go 80%. If I choose this alloy of aluminum, the carbon footprint goes down by 99%, right? The financial impact goes down by almost 100%. It's a lot cheaper to use aluminum. Let's see if anything else is any better. Okay? Let's accept that one. And let's go back to the materials now, and you'll see all these graphs will get a lot smaller, right? So look at that. This is the type of thing you want to protect your marketing department from. A simple change that way takes down the environmental impact of your parts, right? This is the stuff that greenwashing people love to point out. Oh, if they just change this material to another material, it'll be 10 times better for the environment. Every company, so watch out for your company if they have green initiatives, if they're trying to say, hey, we're an environmentally responsible company, do this check on your parts just to make sure you're protecting them. Make sure you're not setting yourself up for failure. That make sense?
It does.
Does that seem pretty reasonable, Al?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, great. Sustainability Express, free for everyone. You can do one part at a time. Sustainability, the add-in, lets you do assemblies and add a lot of other features.